Hey, what is going on, legends? This is Ron from Optimize FX. Welcome to the 30th episode of the $1,000 Robot Challenge. And we are currently at 490 subs on the channel. Thank you so much for all the support that everyone's had. If you're not yet a subscriber or new to the channel, essentially I pit expert advisors or EAs up against each other with $1,000, all on the same broker. And we try and work out which ones are good and which ones are not so good. And this week, being the 30th episode, we are going to have a look at my own EA, and it was a really tough week, probably for everyone, I would say. Now let's have a look at the MyFX book stats, and we can see that the only one, oh, not the only one, but the only one that it's making a whole heap of money at the moment is PFX. Closely followed by FX Stabilizer, which has been, to its name, it's very stable. It is the longest running EA that has been going, and closely followed by Sky Blue. So we've got three here that have been going the longest. So we've got PFX, FX Stabilizer, and Sky Blue. PFX probably has the slight edge because it is trading a lot more pairs than the other two. So that's probably why its balance is much higher, or its growth is much higher. But let's have a look at all these other ones here. We've got Island, Euro Scalper, Make Money, Ranger, Baby Shark, Parabolic, and a few other things to have a look at. So, as I said earlier, the week was a really tough week in the markets, and I think that applies to like everyone. So, we will start at like Make Money, which is the top one here. And it lost another it's down $205. So I've now removed that EA and I'm replacing it with another one. I'll get to that shortly. So its set that it was using that I had was actually no good at all. Next we have the new EA called Do It, and it has made a wholesome number of $1.40 with a drawdown of 0.22%. So it hasn't done too much at all last week. And we've got an EA that has traded extremely well in the past. And just remember, I traded, if you watched the last episode, I started this EA called Baby Shark on $1,000, and it was only trading at 1%. And because this week was so hectic, it actually blew its account. And that wasn't the only one. That wasn't the only account that blew. Let me tell you. So that was it was unfortunate to see, but considering the week that the markets had with the really huge bull run on Euro USD, it was actually to be expected. I saw it probably on Thursday night. It was in quite a lot of drawdown. I'm like, oh, is it going to make it out of this? And unfortunately, it did not. I actually thought it would have on 1%, but I guess not. So back to the drawing board for Baby Shark. It just wasn't a good week for it to start on. So if you had it started on this week, on Monday this week, I feel bad for you because it wasn't a good week to start on Euro USD. We'll move on to Sky Blue. And Sky Blue is trading two pairs, and it has made $906 since it started from a $1,000 deposit. So it is one of the EAs that has been going quite well in this challenge. And I'm probably going to look at trading it live. It is seen to be fairly low risk, even though it says 59.82% drawdown. I think that was in like the first or second week that it was trading. But right now, it made it through last week, no issues at all, and it's still going really well. So I'm really happy with how it's been going. Now this other new one called EA Pip Scalper, it only took one trade this week, and I'll get to the chart soon, but it only took one trade, which is okay. I'm okay with that because I made $230. So sometimes less time in the market is better than an EA trading like heaps. And then we have FX Stabilizer, which is another long-running EA that has been trading extremely well, even through last week's craziness, and I think it even traded through a lot of the COVID. So the max drawdown of 33.52% and a profit of $626 is nothing really to be sneezed at, considering how crazy this year has been. So I'm really impressed with FX Stabilizer. And we have the other one, which is an extreme standout, which is PFX. I think PFX is really good on bigger account balances. I think if anything less than $1,000, you're really risking probably too much, and I think it's more gambling if you make it through the 1,000 and keep going with this EA. However, in saying that, I started on the demo with $1,000 and I had a few pairs going, and it has profited $4,452 since it started, which is that's an insane amount of profit from $1,000. That's 445% that it has done, with a maximum drawdown of 38.57%. So PFX is definitely a great EA. It's very aggressive, but it's very, very profitable. So yeah, I think you just need to weigh up the profitability with the risk that you take. And I'll get to the chart soon and show you what settings I'm using. I'm pretty sure I didn't change too much, and it's only trading a few pairs. So definitely one to look at for sure. Euro Scalper. So if you watched the last episode, you'll remember that I changed the equity stop to 50%. So that means if the equity gets to 50% of the balance, it'll close all the trades, and you essentially start from whatever it had left. So I didn't think it was actually going to hit it, but then this week happened, and it hit it all right. We lost $400 with Euro Scalper. So Euro Scalper is taking big hits. From me setting the equity stop. I'm just wondering what happened if I had not have set the equity stop with that one at 50%. If I had have turned that off, what would have happened to Euro Scalper? So that's what I'm going to do with you all. I'm actually going to turn that off, and we'll see what happens next week on the remaining balance that it has left. The next we have is FX Pro Ireland, and it is trading a few pairs. It is profited $511. It didn't really do too much over the last week, which is interesting. It did make a little bit of money, like $20 or something like that, but it wasn't much. But you'll get to the chart on that one soon. Ranger, which is the paid EA, it is just slowly but surely making money. So hardly any drawdown. It doesn't trade very much. It is actually a really good robot, and it's not extremely profitable, but that's okay. It's very stable, and I'm looking at profitability. Stability over profitability, I think, is better for a robot. From I've been doing this for over a year now, and so many times I'll be like, sweet, I've made like $500 this week, and then the next week it's been taken away from me because the robot is so risky. You're risking so much, and yes, exactly what happened to me this week. So I'm still being taught lessons, and that's okay. It's all learning. It's all learning. The market teaches you lessons. It is a good teacher, and if you don't learn, you'll keep getting taught. So the next thing is Challenger. So it didn't really do too much. It made $7.89. It hasn't really done anything. It's actually lost a little bit of money this week, which I'll get to. So I'm going to change it out with another EA that's really, really exciting. I've been trialing it for the past week, and that EA I'll reveal when I get to the charts. But yes, I'm actually using another one of a couple of their systems actually, and I'm really, really liking how it's kind of trading. We'll see, because I'm still learning how to use it. It's only been a week, so but we'll see. Next we have my own, which I made. Mistakes were made. I only really backtested this on Euro USD, and I saw some really good results over a few pairs. I thought all the pairs kind of would have been a little bit the same with this robot, but coding needs to change. My code needs to change quite a lot actually for it to go on to the MQL5 market, and for that reason I don't think I'll have it ready for this year. So I'm looking at next year, and I'd hate for anyone to get my EA and have this happen to them, which the account got blown, and it got blown on one of the pairs that I never tested on, which was yen pairs, and I think I just need to make some coding changes to account for the differences in what do you call it, decimal places, because the yen pairs are, I think, 4 or 5 digit pairs. 5 digit pairs where like EURUSD is a 4 digit pair and things like that. But you know, it's all coding speak. If you're a coder, if you've coded MQL4, you'll understand what I'm talking about. I did take that into account, but not quite well. Also, the distance between orders changes as well. So I'm looking into not changing how parabolic trades in a huge way, but I'm going to be making changes to the code to also get it ready for MetaTrader, the MetaTrader market. So it needs to go through quite a lot of checks that I'd actually missed. I went to authenticate. It does an auto authentication on the code, and it needs to pass tests before it can go into the market. And it failed. I had 22 errors, and I need to fix them. So, and after this week, after what happened this week, both on my real account and on this demo, I can see that I can make some changes that will make it more of a reliable EA. So I essentially coded parabolic to win on the entries, and for it to mainly win on the entries. I didn't intend for the EA to make money based on its recovery. The recovery was just there, just to help it out if the entry was wrong. But in EURUSD, when I backtested it, you know, it was around 20 to 30% drawdown that I had got to over a 6-month period, based on like $1,000. So the only thing I didn't account for was if I was trading like multiple pairs, and I didn't account for the volatility of the yen pairs when I put it on the chart. And I'll get to that when we get to parabolic on the charts, and I'll show you what I mean. So after all of that, let's have a look at the charts, and I'll get to some of the new EAs that I'm going to test this week, and we'll give you a quick rundown of what happened on the charts. So if we have a look here, we have Sky Blue trading EURUSD and GU, and we can see that there was a very bullish market that happened last week. We can see here that, you know, this is the 1st December. We can see there's a huge move up on Monday, huge, absolutely huge, and then it come back, retraced a little bit, and then it moved up again, retraced, moved up, come out, and then it's double topped and it's coming back. So I'm not sure exactly where EURUSD is heading. I think it's still bullish, but you know, I'm not here to give you any trading advice, because you know, that's not something that I'm doing. Looking at doing. I need to get more experience to give out like trading advice as to directions and things like that, or TA. So Sky Blue's trading really well. If you remembered, I changed the I changed it to medium risk, and everything's on medium. So it's trading extremely well. I'm really happy with how it's trading. At this stage, I probably wouldn't look at putting any more pairs on unless I probably back tested it or seen kind of how it went on a demo. But these two pairs have been trading extremely well together. Probably looks like more profits maybe on GU than EU. I'm not sure. But you know, it hasn't been the best market lately, but it has profited from that. And if we have a look here, this is the old account, Sky Goldcatcher account, which was the first EA that we had on it. But let's have a look at, we'll go to 01, which is Tuesday. It doesn't really matter too much. Sometimes it catches the month before in it, but didn't in this stage. So it made $97 this week, which is nothing really to be sneezed at. There was quite a big trade. There's 0.65 on EURUSD, which, you know, to me that's scary. It's approaching the 1 lot mark, which is way too big for, you know, an account of this size of $2,000 to be trading with a robot anyway. So I think it just made it. I think the maximum drawdown that we saw here on Sky Blue, so max drawdown of 59.82, but I think that actually happened. Oh, we can actually check that. I think that actually happened this week. Go away. Yes. So if we have a look, the max drawdown was that last week and actually made it through it. So that 59.82% was the most drawdown that Sky Blue has ever had, based on the whole test from October the 9th. Before that, 6.82% was the biggest. So I'm not surprised at all, but I'm really, really happy that it made it through it. So yeah, that's all I got to say about that. So this is the single trade that EA Pipscupper made. That was on the Tuesday, and it was $248.25. You take out the commissions for 0.25 lot trade, and there it is there. Oh, actually, if we do this, there it is right there. Open there, close up there. Boom! It could have taken so much more, but it didn't. On maybe the pivot, it closed the trade. I think that's amazing. Look at that. So it has done one trade, but it made $248 in the one trade. That's crazy. So let's see what happens next week with it. I'll leave it alone, and we'll go from there. Next we have FX Stabilizer. So it is still in trades. Did it make any money this week? That is the question. I didn't check. Actually, I didn't check. Let's have a look. No. So it didn't make anything this week because from, let's say here, yeah, from here it is being stuck in trades. I don't know why I've got to. All right. Okay, I wanted to see if it worked on AUD USD, and there is a trade there. Huh. Righto. I don't think it's supposed to work on other pairs, but you can get the Pro version, which is, but I don't think it is meant to be. So we'll see. We'll see what happens next week. So essentially, Euro USD has to come back to here for it to close all these trades, which may take another week or two. Who knows? Or it may just come back down to this level and just go boink straight up, and we'll be in the crap. But it wouldn't be in that much crap because it's up to $198 right now. So we'll see. There's a sell limit at 0.64 there. So I like that it has the sell limits and buy limits and things like that. So the trade is there. It didn't actually take it yet. It will only open it when it hits there and comes back. So I really like the way FX Stabilizer trades, and I hope all of you do too. This is on turbo mode, by the way, and auto risk is set to true. At risk limit is 50% and fixed lot 0.02. So that is the settings that it is using. FX Pro Island, we are trading all of these pairs here, and it's made $20.25 this week. Nothing crazy, but considering the week it had, I think that's okay. We didn't lose money, we still gained money. So FX Pro Island went well. We'll see what happens. And this is okay. I'm trying to work out if this EA Buttock Flat version 1.62 is worthy. This is not a good result. However, just because it isn't a good result doesn't mean it's not a good back test. What I'm trying to figure out is what is the less riskiest in terms of you can see it lost money there, but we got up to like $1,770 before it blew the account, and I'm not sure it's just because the tick data is no good or not, but I'll do some more testing. Might even test it on my other rig that has the actual tick data, and we'll go from there. because I've been advised that maybe the H4 time frame is the least volatile for this EA, but I'll do some more testing and I'll figure it out and I'll chuck it on anyway. So I've got some M1 sets and I've got some H4 set, not sets yet, but I've got H4 and a few other bits and pieces to try with this EA. So I'll see what happens, but a couple of people have got profits with it, so I'll see what happens. PFX, so this is, okay, so I'm just seeing where it started. So it started on I started this trading on the 10th of the 9th, and what is that? Oh, it's ordered by size, because I was seeing what the biggest size trade was that has been since it started trading, and it was 0.32, which is nothing too crazy really. It just made $4,455. It is currently down $213. And the main, yeah, EuroCAD, nothing really much there. So I think, oh, Euro AED, and it's out of Euro USD now. So EuroCAD probably looks the worst here. Doesn't have to retrace much for it to come back, but you know, this is the M15 time frame. Yeah, well, oh yeah, it might even come back to here, because that's another, that'll be at a resistance level there. So and the take profit is just under that. So you can see it had a little bit of trouble getting past this level over here. It kind of hit a wall and then come back down again. So Euro, I think the Euro will bounce back and come back up, but we'll see. These are the settings I'm using for PFX. Lot exponents 1.2. We're starting at 0.01 lots. We've got a max trades of 20. Everything else is as is. We are times for average. I'm not sure exactly what that does, but we are running a 15-minute chart, and time for average maybe a 15-minute chart. I don't know, but I'm really impressed. Really impressed with how it's trading. So what did it do this? What did it do this week? Considering the week that we had, what did it do? I think it would have made a fair bit. Yeah, $344 this week, based on all these pairs. So that's a pretty good week, but it's not so great if you're down $213. But it might come back, might not. But we do have $5,455 in equity now, so $213 is nothing, absolutely nothing for this EA. So we'll see. We have Parabolic, which is my own, and look how many pairs I've got it trading on. So for what I back tested with, and the main troubling pairs were Euro USD and Euro Yen, and the reason why I left this up here like this is because it didn't, essentially we run out of margin. It wasn't because the only reason why it couldn't get out of its issue that it had was because it ran out of margin. So the biggest one here was 0.41 on Euro Yen. So if you have a look at like the H4 time frame, that was just a big move, and they just run out of margin because there was too many pairs for $1,000 with the way that this robot trades. So what I might do, and what I might do like this, I might make the changes to the EA, or I might and then come back with it, or what I might do is put it back on Euro USD and put another $1,000 in and go from there, because I made the mistake of putting way too many pairs on without actually testing it myself. I never actually tested my own robot with multiple currency pairs to see how it would trade or how it would react. And if we have a look here, a lot of EAs would have trouble with a big move like this. You know, it wouldn't be just my own. It was a pretty big move. Like, it started here, and then there was this massive move upwards, and it just ran out of margin because there was just too many pairs. Which was the other one, Euro USD. So Euro USD did the same. It had this, it did it at the same time, and Euro USD actually kept moving up. So I'm actually kind of glad that this happened, because now I can make changes to the EA to stop this from happening. And you know, it kind of sucks that it didn't work out, but you get that. That's this what a part of building robots is. And I thought it was actually ready when it went in. It is definitely not. It all comes down to settings. It all comes down to settings. So if I had have traded Euro USD by itself with this big move, would it have made it? Maybe, maybe not. But what I can do is wait till next week, download the tick data for last week, and then I'll see if it makes it. If I can get like a set to make this big move up and then come back based on $1,000, then maybe the settings just need to be changed. So if we have a look here, I had a max level of 10. The multiplier was at 1.5, which is probably too much already. That is one change I will make, because this I've coded it in such a way that it uses the previous lot size to calculate the next lot size. And the problem with that is the previous lot size is in 1.00 digits. There's no more. And it's really hard to code something that starts at like 0.01. You times that by 2, and you've got so times that by 1.5. It rounds it up and it goes to 0.02. And the problem with that is if you're using like previous lots, and you can't do a multiplier of 1.2. Like if you do a multiplier of 1.2, it won't work, because it's just not how it's programmed. So that's another huge change I'm actually going to make, and I'm working on right now, is to be able to have the multiplier lower than 1.5. So I'm currently in the process of coding that in, because I think 1.5 is probably a bit too aggressive, and I also need to do other checks before it can go on the market as well. So I need to check if there's any equity, and also need to check if the lot size is valid for the order send function. So all you coders will probably understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, so that's one thing. That was one thing that I made a mistake with the code. I was using the previous lot size, which is only two decimal places, where it needs to be more, because then you can do a multiplier of like 1.21 or 1.35 or things like that, and you'll get totally different results based on that, rather than being set on like 1.2 or 1.1 or 1.8 or whatever. The next thing I'm going to change is I'm going to remove the stop loss and take profit. So that'll be gone, because essentially all it does is it just shows the broker that you're putting a stop loss and take profit in there. It doesn't actually use it. It's just there visually. It's just there for the broker to see. The other thing is I might change the way it takes profits as well. So I might change the take profit in money to a take profit in percentage. Or, you know, I've got other ideas of doing like a dynamic take profit, but that might not come out until the next version. So it's pretty exciting. So essentially, what I mean is that you can put a take profit in money in. When it hits it, it'll put like your stop losses. It'll move the stop losses up to a certain level, and then the take profits will move with the price. So you can still get profits, but you might be able to get more in some ways. I don't know. It's something I'm thinking about, and I think it'd be pretty cool. But that's a long way away. Increase the range and reduce the multiplier. I think it'll be a much more stable EA. And if we were using higher time frames, it may get better entries as well. So these are just things I'm thinking about with this robot. It does need some changes, and you know, that's all a part of it. So do it. Lost $9.46 this week. Didn't do too well. And what I do like is that you know, it places buy stop and sell stop orders, yeah. But the only thing I don't like is that, see here, all your profits were lost by one order, which lost $10. So yeah, you lost $10. Bingo. So you would have been $10 up if you didn't have that one trade, that loss. But you know, it was a pretty hectic week, so we'll see how it goes next week. Euro scalper. This is the one that I had the equity stop on 50%. Here it is here. Equity stop true, 50%. Let's turn this bad boy off, because I actually didn't think it would hit it, but it did. And you get that. That's why we forward test all these robots, because imagine if that happened to you. Well, imagine if you didn't have the equity stop in. You know, you may have lost your whole account. That would have sucked. And it's something I'm thinking about doing with Parabolic, except I'm going to be doing an equity stop by pair, so not by the whole account. So if a certain pair gets to a certain amount of drawdown, it'll close those pairs trades if it gets too crazy, rather than a total equity. So what do you think about that idea? Like an equity stop per pair traded. I think that's a pretty good idea, but we'll see what happens. Got a lot to do with that. And Ranger EA, it made $14 this week, and it has been a very solid robot. Or robots, you know, it's trading two pairs. I think this could be wrong. It could be Trader Nick's robot. But you know, it's trading the AUD CAD and pound CAD pairs, and you know, it's going quite well. It does have a martingale recovery though, so it's down $8.70 now. But usually it comes back and in profits. So I think that's pretty cool. So that is all from me for tonight. Thank you very much for watching the 30th episode of the $1,000 challenge. You're all awesome.